Fios and Cablevision and all these companies offering high-speed internet connection, phones, and cable. Can we keep hope alive that there will come a time that we can choose how we want to receive advertisement? Like, I don't want to see advertisement on television. I want to be able to watch my shows and not have commercials. But I will look at it on the internet, and I'm even open to getting it on my phone. Do you think that we're very close to this happening?
You can do that now. It's called TiVo.
Yeah, but I still have to fast forward.
Right.
I want to get rid of it. And I want to choose how I want to see that.
I'm pretty sure you'll be able to get it directed, projected directly on your retina pretty soon.
Well, it's all about how you're consuming the content, right? And I think what we're seeing is with services like Hulu, which is basically a way to watch TV shows online, that everything is changing now, right? Because, for example, tonight is the season premiere of Lost,
Yes,
right?
Right.
So everybody's sitting here saying, did Jack get off the island, right? So when you get home now, if you have it on your DVR, you're going to watch it. But if you don't have it on your DVR, you can now hop on Hulu, assuming you have an invite, hop on Hulu and bring it up. You can hop on ABC.com at midnight and bring it up. So I think how we consume content today, tomorrow, is going to be so different than how we consumed it before. And I have to tell you, I think the cable companies are a bit scared because they have such a control of what's going on. Earlier this year, Time Warner raised their DVR fee by $1. Yeah. Why? Nobody's been able to give me an answer to that. They haven't added anything to the service, but it's a great way to do that. And I think it's the same thing when you look at hotels, right? Hotels used to charge for very expensive rates for using the phone. But then what happened was people are now using the high speed. So what are they doing? They're raising the rates on the high speed because they want to get you. And I think that's what's happening with the cable companies, unfortunately.
All right. Let me go ahead and conclude. I'll have you can say whatever you want to say within your final comments, and I'll just have a parting word myself of an idea that someone could act on now if they wanted. So we'll start with Jonah. If you want to just say some closing comments.
Sure. I guess one thing we didn't really touch on much was this transition from consumption to production. And one of the great challenges that we're dealing with in education right now is precisely this torrent of information. There are even a lot of folks out there who strongly believe that access to knowledge is an end in of itself. And one of the challenges that we're continually faced with is how do we go about activating and engaging the content that people are being flooded around them all the time. And we have various approaches to that, and one thing I think we might see more and more of in 2008 are clipping and editing tools, so that when people see something that's really cool, they can remix and remash like that particular clip or whatever they were watching themselves and create something new and send that to a friend. Not from scratch, not like something that never existed before, but a re-edit, a recompilation, or a remix of what existed prior. So.
From my perspective, I'm going to pick up on something like Clayton, but because I spend a lot of time looking at consumer behavior, I definitely think that social media is here to stay. It's not just for kids, and that we'll find more and more ways to integrate it into our daily personal and professional lives, mostly because it flattens the world. It really does. In an instant, you can receive information or communicate information across your network of people that can, if used correctly, can enhance how you speak to your family, can enhance how you engage with business partners, and like Clayton said, collaborate on projects or seek input on projects and so on and so forth. So this idea that Facebook or even MySpace is just for kids or just for this 18 to 26 demographic, that's evolving. We're going to find more and more people moving towards this the way we did with email back in 1995 when only a few people had email, and now it's attached to your BlackBerry. So.
I actually have a whole bunch of predictions on Center Networks which you can read, but I pulled out a couple of them. I think first, one of the things we're going to see is moving away from time wasters to time savers. So the days of going on Facebook and poking, super poking, and so forth, your friends, I think are going to go bye-bye as we try to actually take the time back and use it for something that's more, worthwhile. I think metrics, we're going to see a lot of movement in metrics. We started to see it last year with Nielsen coming out saying we're not going to track the page view anymore. But I think we still have to get a little bit further to go back to what you said about how you monetize it. Well, you have to have metrics so that you can give something back to whoever's giving you that money. I think also, if you're trying to do a startup, don't forget about overseas. there's a lot of markets overseas that you can start to tap into. Even if your idea doesn't work here, it may work somewhere else. I spent a lot of time with companies from Russia that have come over here over the last couple of weeks, and they're doing phenomenally well. So just because you're in New York doesn't mean you only have to, focus on the United States. And then lastly, I think we're going to start to see a slow shift from free services to paid services, hopefully sooner rather than later.
All right, well, I'm just going to say that there's still a technology out there called the radio that still has a lot of opportunity. And one of the ideas I was thinking of, and New York is probably the worst place to do this because a lot of us don't drive, but a lot of the country spends a lot of time in their cars. And I think the time for a DVR-based radio is here. So if you can think of how to do that, we'll do it together. Oh, no, it's fine.